update again from Instagram. I actually had done a lot of writing earlier, and I last left off after my second surgery. I'm going to try to maybe cover my third surgery and not have an hour-long YouTube video because that's just too long. I am not editing though, so keep that in mind. I'm not editing anything. Maybe I will one day, but I wanted to get on here and actually do something that a Endo sister who I follow on Instagram actually had commented that she saw my last video, and she did this thing. Hold on one second. I should be more prepared for this. She did this thing for YouTube where it was basically I think it was chronic illness endometriosis tag, chronic illnesses tag endometriosis. Basically just a way to kind of share about chronic illnesses, and I think she might have done it during Chronic Illness Awareness Week or something. I'm not sure if that even exists. But anyways, I'm just going to jump into it before I ramble on for an hour. But I do hope after this to maybe find some time to cover, you know, the rest of my surgery and the rest of my story. I am job searching, hoping to find a job, so that's where a lot of my time is going. But anyways, I'll just jump right in, and hopefully if you have, also before I jump in, because I can't stop talking, if you have a chronic illness that you suffer from and you would like, you know, more awareness, or, you know, people just to talk about it more, or to know more about it, if you'll just do this, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a good outlet. I think it's just something great. In a nutshell. Okay. The first question is, what illness or illnesses do you have? I like to say I did have now, as I have had 7 surgeries. But I have endometriosis stage 4. And if you look at my other video, you can kind of see what led to my diagnosis and all of that. It's there in length and detail. Anyways, I have that, but I also have a few other illnesses that come along with it. Endometriosis seems to be a pelvic disease that doesn't come alone. It seems to always have other pelvic diseases that it brings along with it. I also have severe PFD, which is pelvic floor dysfunction. So my specialist after this last surgery has ordered me to take pelvic PT twice a week. And he actually had ordered that after he did my first excision surgery, which was May 2012. But I just was always sick, and it was a one complication and one surgery after the other. And so I just never got to being physically well enough to do therapy. So anyways, I'm feeling to where I can actually do it once I'm released, which will be May 5th, to be able to do pelvic PT, which is physical therapy. Anyways, PFD is basically when the muscles down there are just really stressed, and he said mine are rock solid, like rock hard, just from being in severe pain, and just kind of automatically your body just kind of tenses up down there and stresses up, and pelvic PT helps your body to learn how to go back into just being normal, I guess, and just relaxes those muscles. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I haven't even started, so if I'm saying anything wrong, feel free to correct me. Again, I haven't started it, and I won't until May, so we'll see how that goes, and hopefully that helps with my recovery even more. I'm going off on tangents again. I should just name my YouTube channel One Big Long Tangent. There we go. So endometriosis, stage 4, PFD, pelvic floor dysfunction, and then I never had PCOS, which is another pelvic disease of the reproductive organs, actually the ovaries. It's I could be wrong, Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. I think, I should know that. But it's where your ovaries produce a large number of cysts on them. I had issues with endometriomas, a dermoid cyst, and just normal ovarian cysts, but I never had PCOS. I was never diagnosed with that. So anyways, that's just another tidbit. Never had that, but trying to think of adenomyosis. I did have adenomyosis, and it can only be like endometriosis diagnosed through pathology, which, as we know, for tissue to go to pathology, you have to have a surgery, and the surgeon has to excise, cut out the tissue, and send it off to pathology to be diagnosed. So adenomyosis is basically endometriosis, which I'll go back because I forgot to say what endometriosis is. But adenomyosis is basically endometriosis of your uterus. What it is it is the endometrial lining that is supposed to be around, like it's supposed to line the uterus, as we know. In your monthly period, it sheds it. It's when it actually grows through the muscular walls of your uterus. So inside the lining of your uterus, inside the wall, endometriosis is there and it grows. Endometriosis is very, very sneaky, but I had adenomyosis. It was suspected after a doctor can only suspect it during surgery. They say it is, it's shown by a woman having a boggy, pink, reddish, splotchy uterus. And most surgeons, especially specialists who deal with adenomyosis and endometriosis with patients who have them, they can just kind of tell just by the appearance of the uterus, and also symptoms. If you have heavy periods, heavy bleeding, heavy clots, that's another sign of adenomyosis. Not saying if you have those, you have it. I'm just saying it's a big indicator. And most physicians or specialists will ask you those questions. But anyways, I was diagnosed with that after my emergency hysterectomy, which was my 6th surgery, which was after my 5th, which was an emergency D&C. But I'll save that for later. But so yeah, I had adenomyosis. I also was going to tell you about endometriosis. What it exactly is it is the endometrial lining that, like I just said, usually lines your uterus, and it sheds with your monthly, with your period. And it's when that grows in your pelvic area where it does not belong, and it can grow on any organ. It does not have any limitations. It was on my appendix. It was on both my ovaries immensely. I had endometrioma cyst. It was on my back pelvic wall and my pelvic side walls, especially my left pelvic side wall. I'm trying to think where else it was. Of course, I think my sigmoid colon. It was my sigmoid colon, but nothing immense. I don't think there. It was just really, really bad on my back wall. So that's endometriosis. But anyways, I've also heard that endometriosis, so I don't want to be incorrect, can also like grow in your throat, and it can spread. It can spread to other places. I know endo sisters who've had surgery and it's been on their liver. So it really doesn't have limitations as to where it can go, but usually it's caught before it can move beyond the pelvic region. But again, I'm not a doctor. Now we're just now on the second question. Okay, question 2. Oh, those are the only illnesses that I have. Question 2. When were you diagnosed? I was diagnosed after my diagnostic laparoscopic surgery on March the 2nd, 2012. And I was 27 years old. I'll be 30 in 2.5 weeks. Just those who want to know. Question 3. Have you ever been hospitalized? I have. Several times. 7 times for surgery. Actually 6 times for surgery, because my first was outpatient, so I didn't have to spend the night in the hospital. But I guess I was hospitalized. I don't know if that counts. I'm not really sure if this is asking if I've been admitted or just in the hospital. But I've been admitted 7 times, because 6 for surgeries where I had to stay overnight, and I was trying to think if I had to stay overnight for. Okay, trying to make sure I say everything right. I was trying to think if I stayed overnight after my 3rd surgery or not, and I can't remember. Oh well, maybe I will remember later. I think I was. Anyway, but I was hospitalized for 3 nights after my 3rd surgery. That might be why I waited a while to dive into my 3rd surgery. No, that video was just too long. anyways, I have been hospitalized many times by being admitted at least 7 times, if not more. And then I've been hospitalized. I've have been to the ER several times. So yeah, the answer is that I definitely have been hospitalized. Hopefully, never again. No more. We're done. We have used up all of our hospital stays. Question number 4. Have you ever had surgery? Yes, I have. Just a few times, not too many. I have had 7 surgeries, all for endometriosis related issues. Oh, sorry, that's a mistake. I have had surgery 8 times. When I was 5, I had tubes put in my ears. But I don't really remember it. But yeah, so yeah, 8 times. Sorry. Question 5. Do you take any prescription medications? If so, what for? I do. Thank goodness it is a lot less than I was taking. I always say I can't wait until the day that I can just take supplements and that's it, vitamins. Gosh. And I'm actually really happy to answer this question because I am just now taking ibuprofen and have been for a while now, but it's just so exciting to just be on ibuprofen and not need pain meds anymore. It's just freeing, and I hope I never have to go back there. But I take an antidepressant, and I have since I was 9. So I take that. What else do I take? Oh, I take a hormone replacement, HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy. Since I was surgically in full menopause after my full hysterectomy, which was December 2012. So I take estrogen. I take 3 milligrams of estrogen every night, and then I take progesterone to help level out the unfun side effects of estrogen. My body's never been a fan of estrogen. So I take that, ibuprofen, and my supplements, and that's it. I do take a lot of supplements though. So I take calcium, multivitamin, fish oil, evening primrose oil. I take that. So that's that. Oh, and I was taking Phenergan and Zofran when I was vomiting a lot. When I was really sick, I would vomit a lot. And so those medications were amazing. And now I just take Pepsidase C. So that's another huge thing for me is I was taking Phenergan every night. And I don't have to take it anymore. And it's just one less thing to have to take. So it's nice. Sorry for rambling. 6. What do you wish people knew about living with a chronic illness? Several things. And I try not to put myself in that category. Not that this isn't a chronic illness at all, but as far as just like people seem to, and this is exactly, I don't know, I'm glad this question was on here because people seem to treat people who have chronic illnesses as whiners, as people who complain and dramatize things, or they're hypochondriacs, and that's not the case at all. And I've definitely come to kind of have my own eyes opened. Not that I ever judged people before, but I never knew what it was like to have a chronic illness. You know, you hear about things and symptoms and stuff, and I'm sure everyone has a friend or a relative that has a chronic illness. I never, I guess, I was in denial for so long and was diagnosed and not treated properly, and that's why I was stage 4. But I guess I'm rambling. All I want to say is that you really don't know until you go through it. But I just wish that people would know that we're not lazy. It's not in our heads. We don't want attention. In fact, I'm one of those people that I don't want any extra attention on me. I don't. It's not something that was fun in any way, shape, or form. It's something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I mean, it was not fun at all in any way. And I can't imagine people, I don't understand why people think that we think it's fun or that we're just laying around all day watching TV or you know, just having the time of our lives when we're in severe pain, and it really hurts. So I wish people just would have more of an open mind and be more empathetic and understanding, I guess. Number 7, what can we do to raise awareness? You can do anything that, you know, your heart tells you to do, or whatever you feel comfortable with. I like to use my Instagram to kind of give this disease a louder voice, because I don't think it has. I mean, it definitely has a loud voice, and I think it's getting louder and louder. I think, I mean, I use it to post stuff. I'm not a doctor or an expert, and I try to make that very clear. I just have been through a lot of surgeries, and so I feel like as much information as I can put out there for anyone, even if it's one person, to say, hey, that's me, you know, I am having those issues, and maybe I need to talk with my doctor about this, and you know, help someone. And you know, I've said in my other video that it's a very isolating disease, and just to know that you're not alone is a great thing to do. And there's so many women. I mean, it's over 200 million women who have this disease, and if we all were to just speak up more, maybe we would be heard a little bit more and taken more seriously. It's not easy to talk about. It's kind of taboo. You know, no one loves to talk about their period, no matter how old you are. Especially when I remember when I was younger, you know, it was just something that not really to be ashamed of, but you know, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about. But I just have come to, I don't know, I feel empowered when I open up and try to relate to other women and try to help however I can. It makes me feel like I'm doing something, and also just it makes me selfishly feel like all of this happened for a reason. That saying is so cliche, but everything happens for a reason. I'm a huge believer in that, because I believe that everything that happened, and as bad as it got, I got through it, and I can say I did it. And here I am, and if I can do that, I can do anything. And you know, if I went through that, then you can. So yeah, empowerment. Um, Anyways, to answer that question, just any social media you can get your hands on, tap into it. Raise awareness for endometriosis month, bleh, which is March. Wear yellow. Just whatever you can do, honestly. Oh, never become silent. That's something I should say. I use that as a hashtag a lot, because I believe that if we speak up more and we don't become silent or ashamed, then the voice of, you know, our voices will be heard maybe one day and taken seriously. Tangent number 500 and whatever. Okay. 8. Who knows about your illness or illnesses? Actually, I was just going to say my close friends and family, but that would be a lie. Everyone I know, actually. On my Facebook, I raise awareness, and I don't leave out any gory details. Gosh, maybe I need to scale it back a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I do it just to I just said why I did it. It's late. It's 11 p.m. Anyways, everyone knows. I use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now YouTube. So nothing's off limits for me. And Pinterest. I have a board on Pinterest. So everyone knows. Actually, I hope more people know after these videos. So not everyone knows, but everyone that I know and that I can talk to about it. Just kidding. I don't talk to people at the grocery store about it, but I don't know. I'm not that far from that. Okay. Let's see. Number 9. How does your illnesses most significantly affect your life? Let's see. That was annoying me. Okay. This is a hard question. I think the girl who posted this originally, who I got this from, had a hard time answering this too. It used to affect my life horribly, and it still does. It still is affecting my life. I'm still job searching because of all my surgeries, and That's been hard. I might have to move just because I can't make rent and I can't keep paying bills when I don't have income. And I haven't had income. I haven't had a job since the middle of December. I had to raise money for my last surgery, and so I also had to kind of focus on that and raise money for my deductible, my specialist deductible. Yeah, anyways, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, how does it? It affects my life in several ways. Actually, I can answer that by saying there's no part of my life that it didn't affect, and it still to this day keeps affecting. As I just said, my job, I've lost several jobs. Having 7 surgeries I had 6 surgeries in 10 months time, and then I had my 7th one a year and 2 months later. It significantly, I guess, affects me because it touches everything. It touches all my relationships. There were a lot, and still are, because I'm getting on my feet again. There were a lot of people that I hurt because I couldn't show up for events, and they would take it personally, and they didn't understand that I was, really truly in pain. They just thought, I didn't want to do something or da 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 da. Anyways, my hair is a mess, so it's just driving me crazy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but it does affect everything. There isn't anything that it doesn't affect. And the thing that it really significantly affected me the most is my ability to have children. I cannot have children, and so that's really hard. It's a really hard thing to kind of wrap your head around. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. I guess it also has affected my family, huge. It's just kind of built a wall between my family that I'm still trying to break down, and that'll take time, but it's just taken a lot from me, and I think it takes a lot from anyone and everyone that has it. So that's how. There's not a real easy way to answer that question because it affects everything. Okay, 10. Number 10, the last one. I bet you're happy. If you could tell the medical community one thing about treating your particular illness or illnesses, what would it be? I would say I have a lot to tell you guys. I would just say that I wish that you guys would listen to us, and I wish that maybe you listen to our symptoms more, and maybe you would I honestly think it needs to happen in medical school. I hear from OBGYNs and GYNs that endometriosis is covered for like 30 minutes or 2 days, or I forget what it was, something crazy, and it just isn't covered for very long. And I think it should be taken more seriously. So I think it really stems from medical school, and maybe the curriculum just needs an entire override. There's several different theories. One I can think of is, I think it's the Samson theory or something, I forget, where it's like retrograde. A lot of doctors are taught that endometriosis is a retrograde period, which means basically you have a period, but it backs up somehow, and that's how it backs up and ends up in your pelvis. But a lot of specialists believe that it's something that was implanted from birth, because there are cases where a woman has endometriosis, but she hasn't started her period yet. So anyways, they believe maybe it's something that happens that you're born with. And another interesting fact, real quick, about endometriosis is that when you have endometriosis and you have it excised, if you are one of the few that it does grow back, or you have surgery a couple years down the road and they say, hey, we found it again, and guess where it was? Exactly where we removed it from before. That's another reason why specialists believe that when you're born with the implants or whatever of the endometrial cells. Sorry, I'm itching my nose. I'm not picking it. It's allergy season. But so that kind of supports that, not even theory. I mean, that's what I believe. I believe you're born with it. And it just gets worse with time, and especially with your periods and the older that you get. That's why the average diagnostic age is 27, which is crazy because that's when I was diagnosed. Anyways, the prime of our lives, right, ladies? It's fun. But, I don't know. I would tell them to do their research. Take time to really think about it. I wish a lot of surgeons that their heart's desire, you know, will be to be endometriosis excision specialists, because I believe there are not enough. There are definitely not enough. There are few and far between, and they are amazing doctors who are dedicated to their work, and they just want to relieve women of this pain, and they believe in us. And I remember my specialist who just did my last surgery, when I first spoke to him and when I first saw him, I felt listened to, and he was the only doctor that didn't make me feel like it was all in my head. So anyways, I just wish that people in the medical community would listen to us more and take us more seriously. In the emergency room, in the doctor's office, during our yearly PAP, whatever, they would just listen more. So yeah, I say a lot. But I'm done! Yay! In under 30 minutes. How is that even possible? So I will go ahead and edit this and upload it and then try to do another video before it's 12 a.m. See you soon.